Hello witches and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Justin Bennett, the Witch of Enchantment. And today, as per usual, we're talking about Hekate, but today I wanted to talk specifically about a lot of things that I'm seeing online. And I, being just some dumb bitch with a camera, want to lend my voice to this conversation. And what I'm talking about is this need, this pick-me mentality that we put on ourselves about feeling like we need to be chosen, or what are the 5 signs Hekate is calling you? What are the 13 reasons why Hekate is calling you? We've all seen those videos. We've all been intrigued and pulled to watch them, myself included. But I have some commentary that I want to add and what I think. So again, if you're interested in what this dumb bitch has to say, let's get started. You would think I'm drinking tea, but I'm not. This is an energy drink, but this cup is just too cute. How can you not be obsessed with this? Like, honestly. So I am drinking Ghost Blue Raspberry because I am an energy drink connoisseur and I'm not ashamed of it. Okay? I'm not ashamed. You only live once. And with the way 2025 is going, we don't know how long that will be for. I think the best place to start is at the beginning for this video, because the way that I see it, and I can only come from my own perspective, let me just preface that. To me, all of these videos that I'm seeing and posts and things on Substack about not being able to approach Deity and Deity's not being beginner friendly, or you need to be advanced, or, 6 signs to know Hecate's calling you to work with her. The first point I want to make about all of this is I feel very much like we have given ourselves the freedom to approach magic, spirituality, and religion from a place outside of those ideals. And if you want to adhere to those, that's perfectly fine. That's okay. But I think to approach every spiritual interaction in that way is counterintuitive and counterproductive with my own viewpoints on what I think witchcraft is, because I think that it is about personal power and sovereignty and invoking change in your own life and in the world. And of course, we can do that as devotees to Deity and through spirit work and collaboration, of course. But I find it very interesting why, as modern pagans and modern witches, why we continue to put these kinds of constraints on ourselves. Why do we feel like we need to approach Deity from a place of unworthiness? Why do we continue to do that? I know that Christian ideals, and when I say that, I'm referring to the relationship between us as humans and divinity, regardless of who the deity is. Obviously, we're referring to Hekate specifically, but any deity. We often, consciously or unconsciously, approach Deity in that very similar way, where we feel like we are unworthy, or we have to completely subjugate ourselves to honor a deity and lose all semblance of self. And I just think that that's counterproductive and counterintuitive with who we are as magical practitioners. And I myself am guilty of clicking on these videos and even doing these videos of 6 ways to know Hecate's calling you. I know we're in the beginning of the video, but honestly, it doesn't fucking matter if she's calling. She doesn't need to call you. If you want to work with her, work with her. Hekate specifically is not an overly complicated. I don't think deity work as a whole is complicated. I think we overcomplicate it because of what we're fed and what a relationship with God looks like and what it's supposed to look like. And we approach it with this overcomplicated notion that it really doesn't have to be. And I get this question all the time. How do you start off working with Hekate? Just talk to her. Light a candle. Talk to her. It is not complicated. It is not complicated. Society will tell you it's complicated. And we have mainstream religion that tells you it's complicated and you have to do this and you can't live like that and this is wrong and that is wrong. And throw all of that away, because it again, maybe controversial, maybe it's not, but it's all occultic mentality. It is cult-like mentality. We do not have to subscribe to these notions and these ideas if we choose not to do so. Hekate is not sitting on some cosmic throne looking down at us, looking at people saying you are unworthy to work with me. I think that that's a crock of shit. I think a lot of people who push that narrative want to feel special in the work that they do with their deity, and they want to keep that for themselves. And there's nothing wrong with keeping your personal practice to yourself, but nobody owns Hekate specifically. Nobody owns the idea of deity, okay? This is a general approach that we have as humans, and this need to feel like there is a higher power. And that's universal across culture, this idea of a higher power. But we don't have to subscribe to these ideas of, well, how do I do it? I need somebody to lead me. You don't. You do not need someone to lead you through work with Hekate. You do not have to do that. You don't have to listen to what I say. You don't have to listen to what anybody in antiquity has said or what anybody tells you to do. Deity work can be as complex or as simple as you want it to be. But what it doesn't have to be is a pick-me situation. You don't have to be special. You don't have to be an advanced practitioner. You don't have to do those things. Again, I know this is going to be controversial for some people, but it's a load of shit. There are techniques and things that you can do within the idea of working with deity and spirits that are more advanced than others. But the initial contact with a deity or venerating a deity is not advanced work. It is not. It is just bullshit that is perpetuated within our community, and people use this idea of Hekate or other deities not being for beginners, only for advanced practitioners, or this verbiage about trying to make it seem overcomplicated is not just to boost people's egos, but also to make people who haven't done this work feel lost. And what does that relate to? What does that correlate to, I should say? Clicks, views, services rendered. That's what I see. That's how I see it. On the other side of that as well, not every deity is going to resonate with you. And you may start working with Hekate and find out it's not for you. It may be uncomfortable. There may not be work for you to do with said deity. And that's okay. That doesn't mean it's more advanced than what you're capable of handling. It just may not be the right time right now for you. You know, I have done things with Hekate that I would never try with another deity, but I also don't have an interest in other deities right now. So it's all perspective. It's all lived experience, what we're looking for and what we need, and how deity presents itself to us. But we don't have to be called. You do not have to be called. Okay, this idea of needing to be special or searching for signs, it's a self-aggrandizing notion that, again, is counterproductive. Fuck being called. I don't care what any other creator tells you. You don't have to be called, okay? And I'm going to keep saying that in this video because I hope that you get it. I hope that you get it. You do not need to be called. You don't have to have some grandiose experience through meditation or whatever in order to feel like, okay, Hecate's calling me. Hekate doesn't give a shit. Like, really and truly, she does not care. I don't personally think any deity cares. They don't care who you are or what you've done or how long you've been a magical practitioner or if you're a high priestess or like, it's all bullshit, okay? It's irrelevant. When you're approaching deity, there's nothing we can do. I come from this perspective of there's nothing we can do in life that is going to impress a deity so much that they are going to go out of their way to hunt you down. I think paths can cross between us and deity and in these grand moments, but that shouldn't be the goal or the expectation, I should say, for us to go, okay, I think it's time for me to work with her now. I mean, myself included. I never thought fully that Hekate ever called me. People pointed out synchronicities and things that were happening to me that I was like, okay, that makes sense. But it was through work and my own exploration where I realized that she is the deity for me. But there are plenty of witches and magical people alike who interact with deity because they choose to. Because they choose to do it, not because they are called. And that's a notion that I just really want to bring home to you, is there is no special sauce, okay, or grand gesture that needs to happen for you to start working with the goddess. She is not unapproachable. She is not. I also come from this idea, this is, again, this is my own perspective. At the end of the day, deity wants to survive the test of time, regardless of how you think about deity, whether you think they're an actual spirit, a person that used to be alive, whatever, an egregore, whatever your belief system is. I think the most important thing for me and in how I decide to approach deity was deity wants to live. Deity wants to survive for a millennia over. The moment we stop working with deities, Hekate, any deity, they begin to lose their foothold in the physical world. They begin to lose their power. If you stop praying to them and stop venerating them, they cease to exist. And that idea just in and of itself lends us to feel empowered enough to approach deity. Now, this doesn't mean that every time you work with a deity, any deity in any pantheon, that it's going to work or that it's going to be productive or that the relationship is going to be fruitful, because that's not what I'm saying. Not every relationship with every spirit or deity is going to result in something fantastic. Some deities aren't going to be thrilled with you or want to work with you necessarily, or are going to be comfortable for you to work with them. And that's something to consider. But that is something we understand and work through ourselves. And everybody comes from a different place. And I know some people are going to hear me say that and respond by saying, okay, well, see, you just said not every relationship with a deity is going to work. That isn't about beginner or advanced. I can't understand everybody who's watching this video and what you've been through in life and what perspective you have, what trauma, what your life has looked like. So who am I to tell you? Who am I to provide you a checklist and say, okay, you need to complete all of these things before it's safe for you to work with Hekate? I also am of the very strong belief that deity and spirit comes to you in a way that best serves you. And I always approach magic with, yes, be safe, yes, know how to protect yourself, but also fuck around and find out. So to bring this on home, if you want to wait for a sign or you feel like you need something, that's well within your right to do that. I don't think that that's really productive for you. I say, girl, run. Do what you want to do and experience it in a safe, as controlled environment as you can do. But I will say this, there is also a very clear difference in how we can work with deity. And venerating a deity, devoting, having devotionals, giving offerings to deity is a great way to start any relationship with any kind of spirit or deity, okay? And that's not magical. That's not magical. That's just devotion, honor, and veneration. So if you want to start somewhere, start there. If you still, after all of this, feel like you need a sign, this is your sign, babe. Okay, there you go. Okay, giving you the permission that maybe you need. But I just feel like in 2025, with everything falling apart, as magical practitioners, as witches, as whatever the fuck you want to call yourself, let's try to free ourselves from these expectations that culture and society puts on us and how we view deity and relationship to us. Let's free ourselves, okay? Let's let go of this idea that we need to be picked or we need to look for signs and omens to validate for us. We aren't special. We're not. We are ants in the universe. Really and truly we are. And at times, a lot of times, all of us, myself included, we get a little grandioso in how big we think we are. And we're not. We're peons. We're all born into this world and we all die the same way. We come in and we leave the same way. So let's let go of some of this grandioso idea and embrace our own sovereignty and our own magic and sit in our own power. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I encourage you to challenge yourself. I encourage each and every one of you to accept your own sovereignty and personal power. I hope that as a community and as a whole, we can let go of some of these shackles that we continue to put ourselves in. We can let go of some of this dogma and expectation, this feeling of unworthiness. I also hope that we can, at some point as a community, as content creators, stop perpetuating these ideas of grandeur and start embracing a more transparent way of how we can work with deity. And we can do that without making things seem more complicated than they are. And deity work, deity veneration is not complicated. And I encourage each and every one of you to sit in your power, to stay safe. Stay as safe as you can, spiritually and physically. It's getting crazy out there. So I hope you all stay safe. And until next time, I will see you at the crossroads.